It was just after 3 a.m. when the knocking began. Slow, deliberate, echoing through the silence of the hotel hallway. And then came the voice, calm but insistent. Room service. I was traveling alone for work, staying at a mid-range hotel just outside the city. It wasn't anything fancy, but it was clean, and most importantly, quiet. My flight had been delayed, so by the time I finally checked in and collapsed into bed, it was already past midnight. I remember setting the alarm on my phone and sinking into the kind of exhausted sleep where the world disappears. That's why, when the knocking started, I wasn't sure at first if I was dreaming. 3 sharp knocks, a pause, then 3 more. I sat up in bed, groggy, my heart thudding in my chest. My room was dark, except for the faint orange glow leaking through the curtains from the parking lot outside. Another knock came, followed by a man's voice, calm, almost rehearsed. "Room service." For a moment, I was confused. I hadn't ordered anything, and besides, it was 3 a.m. No hotel I knew of delivered food at that hour. I climbed out of bed cautiously, padding over to the door in my socks. I didn't unlatch it, just pressed my ear against the wood. "Room service," the voice repeated, a little louder this time. It didn't sound like housekeeping or anyone I'd expect to hear. There was no cart rolling, no clinking of dishes, just the voice. Deep, steady. I called out, "I didn't order anything." There was silence. For a few seconds, I thought maybe they'd gone. Then, another knock, slower this time. "Room service," the man said again. Something about the way he said it made my stomach knot. It wasn't a question. It wasn't even polite. It was flat, mechanical, like he was reading lines off a script. I glanced at the peephole, but the hallway outside was dimly lit, and whoever it was stood just out of sight. All I could see was the patterned carpet stretching in both directions. Empty. That was when I felt it. A prickling sensation crawling up the back of my neck. I backed away from the door and grabbed the phone on the nightstand. My hands trembled slightly as I dialed the front desk. A woman picked up, her voice calm, professional. "Front desk, how can I help you?" I kept my voice low, though my pulse was pounding. "Hi, someone is knocking on my door. He says he's from room service, but I didn't order anything. Can you check?" There was a pause on the line. Then she said, "Ma'am, I'm so sorry, but we don't have room service at this hotel." I felt my blood run cold. "Are you sure?" I whispered. "Yes, and I can promise you no staff were sent to your floor tonight." Another knock rattled my door, louder this time, and I nearly dropped the phone. The woman at the desk heard it too. Her voice tightened. "Don't open that door. Stay on the line with me. I'm calling security right now." My breath quickened. I could feel sweat dampening my palms. Then the man outside spoke again, his voice still calm, but lower, closer. "Ma'am, let me in. It's room service." I backed up until I was pressed against the far wall, clutching the phone. My eyes darted to the window. 4th floor, too high to climb out. The front desk woman kept talking to me, trying to keep me calm. "Security is on their way. Just stay quiet. Don't make a sound." I held my breath, the silence pressing down on me like a weight. For the first time, I realized the voice outside hadn't come through the door directly. It had sounded slightly to the side, near the adjoining door that led to the next room. That connecting door was locked, but it wasn't thick. I could see the faint line of light around its edges. And then, as if he knew I was staring at it, a shadow shifted beneath the crack at the bottom. Someone was standing there, on the other side. The knock came again, but softer now, almost playful. "Room service." I wanted to scream, but the sound caught in my throat. My entire body was frozen. The only thing grounding me was the woman's voice on the phone. "Security's on your floor. They're almost there. Just a few more seconds." I waited, heart hammering so hard I thought it might burst. And then, silence. The shadow beneath the door was gone. The knocking stopped. Moments later, a heavy pounding came from the main hallway door, this time followed by a muffled shout. "Hotel security." I rushed to open it, tears stinging my eyes. 2 uniformed guards stood there, flashlights in hand. They swept the room, checked the hallways, even the empty adjoining room. But whoever had been outside was gone. No sign of them. The guards stayed until I managed to calm down, promising they'd patrol the floor for the rest of the night. I barely slept, jumping at every creak of the building. In the morning, when I checked out, I asked the woman at the front desk if they'd found anything. She shook her head, but as I turned to leave, she hesitated, lowering her voice. "You're not the first guest." "You're not the first guest to report. Someone knocking at their door around 3 in the morning. Always the same thing. Always saying room service." I wanted to ask more, but her expression said enough. I left that hotel and never went back. And to this day, whenever I hear a knock late at night, I freeze and pray it isn't him still waiting for someone to open the door.